Okay, now.
Good morning, ladies online in sunny Florida.
Oh,
Sunny here though, right?
no, it is.
Just not.
Can you hear Denise?
Okay.
Yes,
sounds
good. All right, awesome.
Good. Thumbs up. All right. All right, you can start. Okay, perfect. So Denise, forgive me for you and your ladies. My compliance department is loads of fun, and they just yesterday afternoon approved. The ladies right now are working on a little, I call it a little game called Give Yourself a Point. So you guys do not have that piece when I refer to that, but you have everything else. So again, my apologies for that. I have a compliance department that loves to pick things apart. So, yes, it is, and they are wonderful. It's sad that we need them, but we do, and so we anyway, we'll not good. So everybody in the room pretty close to having a total at the bottom. So ladies, I'm gonna just start by telling you I'm Brandi Greenleaf-Barnes, and I am so thankful for each of you in this room. I'm gonna get a little vulnerable very quickly with you. So I've shared a little bit of this with some just in the last 24 hours or last 18 hours, whatever it's been. I spent 25 years in nonprofit, and holidays of 19 into early 2020. I knew it was time for a big major change in my life at 45, but I had no idea what that looked like. And I was probably up to my knees in my walk. And I was okay there. It was going okay. It was pretty easy in what I was doing. But I started getting real restless in early 2020, and I said to my board chairman of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, I said, Phil, December of this year, that's it. Done. I'm out. So you got 9 more months to figure out who you want to come in after me, and I'll help you find my replacement. I was very unhappy with the boss that I was reporting to, and my joy and love for the work I had been doing for 25 years was slowly killing my spirit. After 25 years, what do I want to be when I grow up? Yeah. I had no idea. And again, right, into my faith up to my knees, I didn't surrender to God. I didn't get on my knees. I just once in a while would say, okay, God, what's next? What do I do now? And mind you, he was pretty quiet because I wasn't being very faithful to even asking. That December, well, so March, I say I'm done in December, and then a week later, the world shut down. So after 25 years, I didn't think there was anything I hadn't done yet. When it came to nonprofits, events, fundraising, I had done it all. You throw an event idea at me, I had probably done it. But I had never done an online fundraiser before, and suddenly I did 3 of them in 9 months. Wow. And so now truly I have checked every single box there ever was to check in the nonprofit space. So that December I started talking to friends. Hey, you know me, what are my transferable skills to the for-profit space? What should I do? And everybody kept saying sales and marketing, sales and marketing. What does that even mean? Was offered a job at Eli Lilly, actually a couple different jobs in sales and marketing, making really good money. Didn't entice me in the least. Still just waiting. You know what, if I'm just still gonna talk, I'm not praying about it, I'm not really asking, I'm just being my knee-deep Christian self. And February 9th of 2021, I am on my annual financial review with my financial advisor for Raymond James. And she says, Brandi, I'm so excited to share. I was promoted to branch manager last fall. And I gotta tell you, I now have 21 advisors in this office. There's only one other woman, and I'm determined to change that. Like that, my belly was on fire. I said, tell me more. She said, well, are you looking? Yes, but Sarah, I hate numbers, I hate math, it's why I hate you. So I don't really know why I'm excited about this, but tell me more. Long story short, she told me more. I hung up the phone, I called my mom, I said, can I be a financial advisor? I said, sure you can for a time. And then God will place you on large stages educating women about how to be better with their money. What? Really, Mom? God told her instantly where he was sending.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, suddenly I was wasting, y'all. And that was in February. By August 1st, I was a Raymond James and Associates trainee going to work to be a financial advisor. I spent 4 months doing tests. I hadn't tested, had not taken a test since 1999.
Wow.
And I took 4 of them in 4 months
Wow.
around finance and numbers and the things I hate the most in life. But what I learned is when you are faithful and you do really listen, he'll answer all the uncertainty that surrounds whatever it is you're trying to do. Being a financial advisor is not about being an economic expert. It's about being able to relate and to be able to listen and to be humble enough to walk a journey with the people who trust you with their money. I pay people to watch the dollars and cents for me. That's not my strength. But my strength is to have a desire to want to help not just women, but that's my focus, be better managers of the money God gives us. So now I'm up to my neck because God has shown out over the last 2 years for me. Now I cut my salary. The last 2 years have been tight.
Yeah.
My husband has supported me, maybe not encouraged, but he's supported. He's taken the brunt of the financial burden. The enemy has him living in a very scarce mindset right now. And God just keeps showing out, so I just keep stepping in because I know this peace, this is only God. So here I am on my first little day job with you guys in Purple Life, and I don't believe this will be my last day with Purple Life. And now I'm gonna show you this big old long 10-page thing, we're gonna throw it away. I just wanna have a conversation with you ladies, okay, I don't wanna stick to a script, because this intimate room doesn't feel scripted to me. One more vulnerable moment, I just knew, because I'm only here, right, I'm not here yet, and I'm not beyond. I get in my way every day. Because I'm an A-type go-get-it personality. God was gonna put me in the big room. There was gonna be 60 women in the big room, and I was gonna change everybody's lives about their money. And then when Angie said, you're in the conference room, a little bit of a letdown about that. I'm only holding like 10 people. God, I'm supposed to be, you told me I was gonna be on big stage. And so I got on that for a minute. And then yesterday, I told Jill O'Boyle this on the way out. God flipped it over for me. My therapist helps me all the time. Okay, what's the situation? Now turn it over. What is that, right? And I said, wait a minute. Whoever shows up in this room with me, they're ready to talk about their money. Because we don't like talking about money. We certainly don't want someone to tell us we're not doing it right. We want to be accountable to it, right? So when you're vulnerable enough to show up in here, you are exactly the women that I'm supposed to be talking with today. Not talking to, because then there I'm gonna have to talk to you.
Yeah.
And now I get to talk with you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Right? So thank you, each and every one of you, however you walked through that door and decided this version online, this session. At my heart, just thank you for trusting me to share what's on my heart with you about how we can be better managers of what God gives us. So that's it. Yeah. So many of you probably know, maybe you don't, God talks about money over 2,000 times. Do you know he talks about money more than he talks about faith? They all talked last night about being faithful. He talks about money more than that. That's how important this is to him. And I have been blessed in the last 2 years as I've been going through this journey, and God's been giving me the wisdom to talk about a topic that's super uncomfortable, right? We were taught growing up, what 3 things were we taught not to talk about? And money, right? So God put me in a place to talk about something that everybody was raised not to talk about. Well, this sounds fun. Right? And he keeps giving me opportunities to talk to women, and I respect every man that I work with, but there are less than 15% of my industry is made up of women. Yet more than 52% of the wealth in this country, guess who owns it? Us. And that number goes up every year. But only 15% of us are available for you to come talk to about it. How many of you have a financial advisor in the room? Is it a man or a woman? Woman? Good girl. How do your advisors make you feel?
Mine's a Christian, I just have always appreciated it.
Okay.
I prayed about it.
Yeah. Love it,
Yeah.
love it. How about you ladies?
So when I first met him through my accountant, who's a female, he told me up front that you need to know how I'm getting paid, and that was the first conversation, how he's making money off of me. Wow, so I don't know if he was price centered now, but I was like, he said, anyone who won't have that conversation with you, you don't go, because if you don't pick me, it's fine. You don't go with them because they should cower behind the funds. They need to tell you how they're making money off of you. He's always been very open how he makes money up. So in that aspect, I've always respected him because I felt like, he deserves to make money.
Absolutely.
This way, it's not like, he doesn't put me in funds where like he's making this big percentage.
Yep.
And I don't see that part because it's in the back door.
The thing, respected is not an intimate, close relationship, I feel very vulnerable in it necessarily, but it's, it's an honest, ethical relationship.
You know what, that's great, that's better than some, right? Ladies, how about online? Anybody have a comment on how your relationship is with your financial advisor?
Feel free just to come off mute.
And no pressure.
I'll watch the chat.
Okay, all right, sounds good, yeah.
Actually, that was my second one, because my first one, I didn't accuse my parents and I didn't like him. I felt he was slimy, I felt he was kind of full of bull. And he was the one that I felt like he put you in funds, but he's making, like he had his own plane, but where's he getting the money? Was from, that's why when I switched to the other one and he told me up front how he was making his money, I felt that trust.
He's got his own plane.
Yeah, he had.
I'm shopping at Shein. I don't even know if I have money for my own plane, if I can buy my own plane, but anyway, I digress. Thank you for sharing that. I'm happy to hear that that's your experience, because unfortunately that's not the norm. The norm is usually the husband, if you're in a relationship, usually the husband picks. If the wife even goes along, because normally she doesn't want to, oh, my husband handles that. Normally, the husband and the advisor do this the whole time, and the wife's right there, and nobody even makes eye contact. I watch it happen when I go into meetings with others that are mentoring me in my office, and I think, gracious, yeah. So my happiest joy,
The
okay,
online gals,
Yeah.
but they do not have a financial advisor, they manage their own finances.
Okay.
FYI.
okay, all right, okay. So my greatest joy is when, so I've been gifted some clients along the way. Do you know why they were gifted to me? Because they weren't profitable to the advisors. They were too much work, too little return. Okay, I'll take them. I had a 60, because that's there, I think she's 68, 60-year-old woman say to me, Brandi, every year he makes me come to this meeting. And every year I wake up with a sick stomach because I hate it. I hate feeling stupid, I hate feeling uneducated, I hate not understanding where our money is and why. And I literally work myself into a tizzy. And then all of a sudden, here come the tears. And she wrapped me in a hug and she said, this was fun. You talked to me, you didn't talk at me. You taught me, you made sure I understood. Shouldn't that be common sense? Yeah. And I'm going all over the place here because I threw my script away. But my point to that is, shouldn't we end that? Shouldn't we look to someone to help us, not tell us what they're doing with our money? Shouldn't we have some say and understand why we're making our decisions we're making? right? So that's the advisor piece, just some nuggets for you, when and if you're ever looking for an advisor. Yeah.
What is that financial advice?
Yeah, so a financial advisor is a lot of different things, and a financial advisor advises you on your investments. So let me give you some examples. You change jobs and you have a 401k at your current job. You're gonna go to a new job. You have 3 options for that 401k. You can leave it right where it is. Bad idea. Here's why. You can forget about it accidentally. The company could, close their doors. Oh no, where's my 401k? Where is it? Huh? Or you could miss an email from them, they could turn it into cash and it could be not working for your future. So I never recommend leaving it at the old point. Now, you change that job, option 1 was leave it. Option 2 is roll it with you to your new employer and just roll it right into your new 401k. Option 3 is to call me and say, Brandi, I just left my job and I have this 401k, what do I do with it? We roll it to Raymond James and now we work together to start building your portfolio and investments for your future, for retirement, for legacy. That's a very high level, what does a financial advisor do? We work with people to build financial plans as young as you want to see what does retirement look like, because the sooner you start thinking about that, hopefully, that doesn't mean you'll have to work till you're 70, unless you want to. But a lot of people think, oh, I gotta have lots of money to work with a financial advisor. And you do work with some financial advisors. A lot of financial advisors will not work with you for less than 6 figures. I have a team that gives me clients, they don't take less than $500,000. I have clients that have $5,000 with me because I'm doing God's work. I'm going wherever He leads me, whoever He brings into this room, that's who I'm supposed to work with. So a financial advisor is just truly there to advise you on your finances. It's that simple, really. A lot of people complicate it. So that's what that is. Why am I here today? I'm here more about the coaching hat that I wear. And through the coaching hat, it's all about educating women on, are we managing our money or is it managing us? Are we doing what God wants us to do? Have we ever really looked at our money and said, do I even know where it's going? Because most of us don't. Do I know what my wants are versus my needs? Am I living according to God's plan with my wants and my needs? So that's what we're going to dive into the workshop. Just double checking, the ladies online have the handouts, yes?
Yes, Denise, you guys have the handouts? Oh, so look at should be in the email. Let me see if I can find them, just post them here and they can
Okay.
download them.
Perfect.
Pardon my face.
I'll wait just a second for that to see. So while she's doing that, let me give you guys just a little quick what we're gonna do in the next 30 minutes, okay? So in this packet, we're gonna start with this page right here. So everybody's familiar with a vision board, right? So this is gonna be our vision board for 2024. After that, we're gonna talk about setting some financial goals for 24. That's on the back of that. Then I'm gonna share with you guys my what I teach bucket plan spending, nothing crazy, nothing complicated. How many of you are familiar with Dave Ramsey's envelope system? Okay, to me, that's early 2000s. Nobody carries cash anymore. Right. So we're gonna take some of that and we're gonna bring it into 23 into buckets. There is also a sheet in here. We're gonna talk a little bit about credit card debt. The very last page is the debt snowball. I'm not going to go too deep into it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's something that I wanted to share with you. Probably the thing I find that people are the most uncomfortable talking about is their debt. So I find that in big groups, I get people start to check out on me if they're one of those people that are living with credit card debt. they immediately tend to feel like I'm criticizing and judging them, not. And I want you to know that resource is there. And finally, on your give yourself a point, there's a little QR code. And I'll come back to this again at the end. That gives you 20 minutes to ask anything with me about money. So we can talk more one-on-one if you've got some questions about how debt snowball works or how anything works. That QR code takes you right to my Calendly for a 20-minute call. Anything you want to talk about financially. Oh, not that one, sorry.
Oh.
On this one. There's a couple different QR codes you're gonna find. Yep, on this one. Yep. Yep. Finally, I'm gonna give you just a couple minutes at the very end. I would be super grateful if you would fill out the other side of your give yourself a point. I always love to hear, did I give you an aha moment? If so, what was it? This is how I get better at giving women what they want and need about money. And then we're gonna have a little conversation over what your total number was, and that's how we'll wrap up today. Okay. Did we find the handouts for the ladies?
I'm seeing if I can get them in here or not.
Okay.
I know I can email them to Denise. I'm gonna try that. So I posted a link there, Denise, and then I'm gonna try and email them to you from my phone.
First exercise today. So it's really. You could do that. Yeah, you can do that. While she's sending those, there is, I will share this. So there's a, at the very back of your packet, there's a Simplify the Season workshop that I'm hosting Thursday. It's online, it's a lunch and learn. Grab your lunch and jump on Zoom with me at noon on Thursday. And we're gonna just come in community with some tips and tricks and ideas, traditions to share with one another about how to simplify the season. How do we stop thinking about the retail and remember the reason? Yeah, and that date is super intentional. It's 1 week before Thanksgiving when some of us go spend time with our families, where the stress level goes from to here. It's also right before Black Friday. I want y'all to go into the holidays this year with a plan. How many have a plan for how they spend their money at the holidays? Okay. How many wish they had a plan? How many know they need a plan? Especially before Black Friday, right? Someone said to me last night, well, Black Friday's not that big of a deal anymore because, we don't go to the brick and mortars. Oh, no, it's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Because we sit on our couch and they flash deals at us on our computers constantly. And we got the card on file. We don't even have to type the card in anymore. We just did buy. Right? Total vulnerability. I was supposed to close a 7-figure client. My first year I was gonna get a 7-figure client. It was supposed to happen last December. Guess what I did last Friday? After being so diligent to my wants and needs spending for over a year, I said I deserved it. I earned it. I closed a 7-figure client my first year. Just so you know, that's unheard of. So I spent about $3,000 on things I had done without for the last year. Guess what didn't happen this summer? Some of your client didn't sign. It's supposed to be a $10 million deal.
Wow.
Guess what did happen in January? Closed the 7-figure client. Got $1 million. Guess what else happened in January?
Got your statement.
Got my statement. Guess what didn't add up? The commission and the statement. Guess who started sending stuff back that I had to know? And guess who showed out for me in February? I got hail damage done to my car in June of 21. There had been an insurance check sitting buried on my desk at home. And I never cashed. I paid cash for a car, that's a whole nother God story, before I made this transition. I looked at the credit card statement. God said, you got that money, right? Go clean off your desk. That envelope was sitting there, less than $40 difference. Wow, but that credit card statement was.
Wow.
And he said to me, you forgot what you're teaching. You forgot what I'm teaching you. And I know your heart. So here's the money.
Yes.
I'm not mad at you. I'm a little disappointed. But it's okay. Step back in and remember what I'm teaching you so you can teach others. That's how God's showing out for you guys. It's crazy. And he will, like, tithing. Tithing's another one that people get real uncomfortable with when I talk about. Tithing means 10% or more. Right now, I go to Traders Point Christian Church, and we are in a series of awakening. And we've got a big, bold goal in front of us for what we want to do as a church. And I'm leading a group of 20 and early 30-something women, 48. God put me there on purpose. These women are saying, I'm broke, I don't have any money. What do you mean 10%? Brandi, don't you know what that number is? Scary. We stayed faithful to our tithe when I cut my salary now. And God keeps showing out the checks. And I didn't ask them. God says, try me. Just try me. I'm gonna give you more than you could ever imagine. But what do we do with our money? Money is dollars and cents until we put our emotions on it. If you let go of the emotions and you go back to remembering it's all about God providing and take one step forward wherever you're at. Even if you're in a tithing 10% or more space, what could you do? 1% more, what would that look like? How much more could God provide for us if we would just do 1%? And 1% more, 1%. It's just, I watch it all the time when they commit to just starting to give and what that is like. Yeah. So I want to give you just take 2 minutes. I want you to think about on this page, right? Sometimes falling apart here. On this page, we're going to vision board a little bit. Financial wellness is the phrase God gave to me when I started this journey. Ladies, we talk about mental wellness. Oh my goodness, mental health. It's become a buzzword. We talk about our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. When our financial health is not healthy, everything else is impacted. So we gotta start talking about our financial wellness, and we gotta start doing it in community. Because here's the thing, if I had 2 hours with you, we'd do a different exercise where I would show you ladies, no matter how old you are, no matter if you're single, married, widowed, whatever your circumstances are, whether you're in corporate America or a solopreneur, whatever, we're all stressing about the same things about money. Am I gonna have enough in retirement? How do I take care of my aging parents? I'm just starting off in life. How do I prepare for my children and still take care of those student loans that are hanging in my head? Everything we worry about comes down to one thing. Do I have enough? Wait, I don't have enough. So how am I supposed to do all these things? Right? So we're all worried about the same things. So what if we came into community and started talking about it and made it okay that we make some bad decisions? How do we start holding each other accountable to our wants, desires, dreams, what God is telling us to do, like Jamie said? How do we take that step? How do we find somebody if we're a little bit older and we feel like we've got an advisor and we're on a good track and we've got our financial plan and retirement's looking good? And how did you find somebody younger and say, hey, come on, let's go, let's do this together. Let me show you what I wish somebody would have shown me when I was 25 or 30. And if we're 25 or 30 and the bills are piling up and the student loans, it's that time again that all that forgiveness is no longer forgiven and the payments are due again and you haven't been paying it for 3 years and suddenly you gotta find $600 more a month. And how do you find that older woman and say, hey, I need prayer, I need peace, I I need to be reminded weekly to let go. How do we come into community about that? What does that look like? I want you guys, pictures, words, sentences, whatever comes to mind, take the next 90 seconds and use that page to vision board. What does financial wellness in 24 look like for you individually? So this is. Let me put you. Does that make sense? Thank you for asking that. So ladies, great question down here. I don't quite get it. What do you mean by financial wellness? You gotta set some goals. If you wanna lose 20 pounds, you gotta have a plan. You gotta set goals. So if I'm gonna be physically healthy in 24, what do I need to do? Okay, well, if I'm gonna be financially healthy in 24, what do I need to do? And if I'm already healthy, what's one more step? If I'm neck deep in financial health, how do I get over the top? If I'm ankle deep, how do I get knee deep? If y'all can tell, I love that song. How do I take some steps to look healthier in 24? Think about that, give yourself a point. Did anything click to you on that list that you're like, oh, wait, I didn't know I should be doing that? Okay, so in 24, what would your financial wellness look like if you did some of those things? Is that resonating? Is that making sense? Okay. Maybe it means if you're not giving at church, you're gonna start giving. If you're not quite tithing, maybe you're gonna tithe. Maybe you're gonna trust. You're gonna take the emotions out of your money and start living with dollars and cents. If you're super healthy and all those things, maybe you're gonna start thinking about legacy. Anna's next door talking about the joy of generosity. She's one of my dearest friends. She's fabulous. Maybe you're in a really good place. Maybe retirement's on track. Let me tell you, 80% of retirees, y'all, are not spending their money. The money they worked so hard to save to be able to retire, they're not spending it because they're petrified they're gonna run out. So who's gonna get that money? Perhaps the ungrateful kids and grandkids. Maybe they're not ungrateful, that's unfair. But do you really want to take all the money that you worked 50 years for and just hand it to your children? Well, newsflash, some of your children don't want it because if they're doing really well, you just put them in a bigger tax bracket and you just created a financial stress for them and a stress. Mom and Dad, I don't want your money, give it away. So if you're financially healthy, have you given thought to what legacy looks like? What's next? How can you be generous? No matter where you are, the whole point of this exercise is to think about another step forward. Right, so now to get another step forward, unless you're still writing, I'll give you. All right, now let's turn that over and let's talk about some goal setting. I usually do go back to the physical working out. Cause I think that's what I need to hear the most. I'm not living a physical healthy life, so. Think about your financial life. You don't, well, many of us actually do you join the gym in January and tell yourself I'm gonna go, but you have no plan, right? How successful are we at anything in life without a plan? We're not, we're doing it for a minute or two or 10, but we're not creating patterns and we're not changing behaviors if we don't have a plan. We gotta have a plan, and to have a plan, we gotta have goals. So, giving you some space here, I'm gonna challenge you all. We're gonna go highlight through it. Take this home, sit in it in the next 2 days, because if you go longer than that, it'll go sit on the counter or wherever you sit your files. Take this piece out. Sit with it just for 30 minutes. Ask God to help you really think about intentionally, how do I want to move the needle in my financial health in the next 12 months, we're already almost to December, next 13 months. What's that gonna look like? Let me give you some just thoughts to get the wheels turning. So financial goals. Are we tithing? Are we giving? Could we set a goal? If we're not giving, could we set a 1-month goal to start giving? Whatever that looks like. Goodness gracious, could we just really be on fire for it and have a goal in 12 months to be tithing, and from not giving to tithing? Wow, that's big. Could we do it? Could he do it? Could he do it with us? Charitable giving. What's close to your heart? Is it the stuff in your closet? Yes, it is. Where your heart is, that's your idol, right? Is your heart on giving to others? It's the holiday season, you guys. There's a lot of people that don't have. I know I have an abundance, and I just keep buying more. I've gotten better. I'm a work in progress, but I'm broken in it, and I admit it. So what could some goals be for next year about your charitable heart? Think about that. Savings goals. Anybody who doesn't have at least $1,000 in an emergency savings account, go do it now, 1 month. However, whatever. It is absolutely a priority to have an emergency savings. Because guess what? Emergencies happen. More than half of this country cannot afford a $500 emergency. How many homeowners are in the house? Okay. What emergency happens in your house that costs less than $1,000? Nothing. Nothing. Most of them now cost over 3. 3 months of your fixed bills are what should be in an emergency savings. 3 months. Many say 6. I don't say that anymore. Especially if you're a working, contributing adult. 6 months of your bills is a lot of money sitting in cash in the bank doing nothing. So 3 months. Now, if you're single, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a single mama and a solopreneur, right? You gotta know your experiences, you gotta know your life. Now I'll tell you 4 to 6, because we'll look at what happens if you're the solo provider and a catastrophe happens. Well, now we probably do need 6. But for married couples, as mid to high income earners, you're looking at $30,000 to $60,000 sitting in cash. That's too much. So 3 months minimum. Okay, so maybe that's the 12-month goal. But that 1 month goal, sell it, Uber it, whatever you gotta do. Get that $1,000. Okay. Debt reduction goals. Again, are we living on credit? Number 1, let's just make a goal to stop living on credit and to start living with what God's providing for us today and tithing it first. wait, how do I tithe it first? I can't even pay my bills. Well, do you even know where your money's going? If you can't pay your bills and you're not giving, but you've been to Starbucks this month, guess what, ladies? You're doing it wrong, and I'm sorry, but that's just the hard truth. If you door dashed this month, you got your priorities backwards. And I'm saying that with love, but it has to be said. We live in this I deserve it mentality. No, you don't. You don't deserve it. What if you switched the way you're thinking about money? Yes, you earned it. Are you being a good steward with what you earned? Because whose money is it? Does it belong to you? And I'll tell you, I'm watching it happen to some people that we thought they were dear friends. They showed us a different side. And they proclaim to be Christian. But I've seen what's happening in their life. God will turn some stuff upside down to get your attention. He will. Be ready. Be able to stand in front of him when the time comes, knowing that you want to hear, well done. Isn't that what we all want to hear? Well done. Well done. And yes, we give our time, we give our talents. Why are we so afraid to give our treasures? They're not ours. Some things different. Finally, retirement goals. It's important. I don't want to see y'all work till you're 90 unless you want to. I want you to live your best life. Now, younger generation has this philosophy that I'm going to live my best life today. I graduated college. I earned it. No, okay, live your best life today. Travel the world. I've never seen so many 20-somethings have passports with more stamps than I do. There's this shift in I deserve it, I deserve it, I deserve it, I earned it. Have you, or did God give it? What are you doing with it? Hey, I'm all for get stamps on your passport, okay? But God, there's a process in how you get those stamps. Once again, are you tithing? Are you giving to the charitable causes that God puts on your heart? And are you preparing for the future? Because if you're just living in today, I know tomorrow's not promised. If you're just living in today, is that being a good steward of the dollars? Or do you want to get to that place, right? It used to be 55 and done. Okay, well now it's 65. Oh wait, it's 67. Wait, it's 70 because I didn't start planning until I was 50. Oh wait, then I got a divorce and I had to give up house, so now it's 72. Something else happens and I got to take care of a child who I had to put him through school because my parents didn't put me through school and I got $100,000 student loan debt. I can't do that to my kid. Now 75. And then the market fell and I didn't have a good financial advisor. Now I'm 80. Plan. Just plan. Whatever that means to you. And if you're not sure what it means, I'll help you figure that out. And I don't charge to do that, and I'm not making any money off of it. It's because that's where my heart is. I want to see better managers of God's money. And it starts with this room and rooms like this, one at a time, talking about, are we doing well together? And how can we help each other do better? I'm throwing a lot at you fast because I only did an hour. Who's got thoughts, questions, comments about the goals? And online as well. I know are they putting it in the chat if they have questions?
They will. I haven't
Okay.
seen any come up yet.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
How do you know, like whether it would be 1 month or 12 months, short term, teenager?
You don't. You just put it on the paper and let God walk through it with you. And I know that's not the answer you want, right? I know, you're right. You're nothing. I get you. I gotta checklist it, right? I don't wanna get this wrong. Here's the thing, it's God's money. He's gonna show you where to go with it when you let go. That's why I said, sit with this piece of paper in your lap. Go back to the other side, read the things you said about how looking healthy with your finances, how that feels, how would it feel, how would it look? Then go back to this page and say, okay, God, let's make some goals together. He'll tell you. Just write. When you hear it, just write.
I call it the dump sheet. Cause he'll download it.
Yes,
He download it.
Yeah.
And then you go, boy, that looks big, God, that looks, but he wants us to depend on him.
yes,
And
yes.
the other thing I think that I always think is, money is time and time is money. So when you're thinking about your charitable giving, think about not only your money, but your time and your talent. And how we're gonna spend that talent, pouring into others, like she said, mentoring someone, mentoring a group, you know, making yourself available. And then is it realistic, when you get your goals set, you've got to look at, okay, here's my time, here's the goal, now am I willing to do the work? That's the other thing, are we willing to do the work? Are we willing to be available to God?
Yes,
Honest
yes,
with
yes,
ourselves.
exactly. Here's the great thing about goals, they're a starting point. If you don't hit them, God doesn't wrap your knuckles with the ruler. He just says, okay, let's try again, right? You're like, I lost my mind last year on Black Friday. He didn't punish me. He said, Brandi, you messed up. You made a bad decision. Yeah, but I know your heart. I know you're trying. I know you're doing my work that I'm asking you to do. So here's the solution. I didn't deserve that. I didn't earn it. So don't just take the download and write. Don't think about it. Don't say, well, God, I can't do that in a month. Shouldn't that be the 6-month goal? God, you want me to do that in a year? I can do that in 3 months. Just write. Get out of your head. Just let the pen go. That's how I recommend you take the goal setting sheet. Okay? Now, I'm of course out of time. So all right, I'm gonna literally fly through bucket planning. And this is again, it's an exercise for you to do that I want to provide. You want to talk about it, let's talk about it. I'd love to dive deeper with you. This is how you take the emotion out of your money. This is dollar and cents planning. It's so simple. We complicate it. So here we go. You got a monthly paycheck. Or a bi-monthly, whatever, however you get paid, you got a monthly income. You got 2 checking accounts, bucket 1, bucket 2. You got 2 savings accounts, bucket 3, bucket 4. Okay, we're gonna bucket our money, and to do that, we gotta put it in different accounts. Because if it's all in one account, it all never works. It's a lot of work. Everything's on auto pay, everything's on swipe. It takes work to lose 20 pounds. It takes work to say I'm gonna eat healthier. It takes work to say I'm gonna get rid of all that childhood trauma that's weighing me down. It takes work to be healthy with your finances. This is work. But I'm telling you, if you put in the work, it does it for you when you change the patterns of how you do it. So bucket 1, checking account 1, it's where your check auto deposits in or where you put it in or whatever. Fixed monthly expenses. What are fixed monthly expenses? Rent, mortgage, car, insurance. If you got credit card bills, it's the minimum payments of those. It's the fixed expenses that you don't really have control over. Yes, you can put an extra sweater on and turn the heat down. Got me? Fixed expenses, bucket 1, checking account 1. What is that number? That's what you put next to bucket number 1. What is your number for your monthly expenses? Fixed. Bucket 2. That's the wants. Bucket 1's the needs. Bucket 2's the wants. Bucket 2 I call the swipe bucket. Where are you swiping your card? That's bucket 2. It's where you're doing your hair, your nails, your shopping. Groceries, if you're not very disciplined with groceries, otherwise they're in bucket 1. Eating out, entertainment, hanging out with the girls, going to a concert, going on a date night, taking the kids to Dave & Buster's, that's all bucket 2. That's where you really gotta dive in and say, where's my money go? It's not a fun one to do, but that's how you fill bucket 3 and bucket 4. It's from getting serious about bucket 2. Because you can't change bucket 1, right? So again, bucket 3, 3 to 6 months. $1,000 minimum as fast as you can if you don't have it. But if bucket 3's already full, put a check, cool. Bucket 4. Bucket 4 is where life starts to look different. And you're now managing God's money, it's no longer managing you. Who can tell me what might go in bucket 4? Variable annual expenses, what comes to mind?
Taxes, if you don't pay
Sorry.
the mortgage.
Well, yeah, that, yeah,
My
yeah,
property tax.
okay, yeah, what else?
Starting.
What expense for the kids would go into variable annual expenses? Nope, nope, that's all up top. That's just part of life.
I'd say camp, vacation.
Vacation. If you're planning for the kids' college education. Yes. If you own a home, you need a home improvement fund, a home repair fund, whatever. Think about big picture. Bucket 4 can also be your charitable giving, if you do that once a year, you're not doing that on a monthly basis. Vacations is the big one. Buying a house, if you don't own a home and you wanna own a home, it's where you put that fund. I do not make any money by sharing banks that I know do this. I'm a big fan of Ally Bank, and I believe PNC does it as well. They have buckets in their accounts. So you open an account, and now you create your buckets within that bucket. So you can have a car fund, a house fund, a vacation fund. Here's the biggest one that I would love to see you start with, a holiday fund. Because what if, everybody that raised their hands and said, I wish I had a plan for the holidays. What if you said, I wanna spend $2,400 a year on Christmas, whatever your number is. What does that mean you have to do starting in January to get there by December?
You gotta save.
$200 a month, $100 a paycheck, swipe it into bucket 4. Now what are you not swiping when it's time to shop?
I like that.
You guys, it's so easy.
That's one of the answers to that question too about the planning. If you needed to hear this part to see how it makes sense, like when God dumps it all out, then you start putting all this into action.
Yes. So here's how this will look. You'll have your set number for 1. You'll move everything else into 2. So I'm just gonna throw numbers. I just don't hear that I think these are what your numbers should be, okay? Let's say you're bringing in $5,000 a month in your check. And 2,000 of it pays your fixed bills. So you got 3,000 left. Well, if you don't have the emergency fund filled, that's first, okay? So let's say you wanna get it filled in 6 months, do the math, that goes into bucket 3 immediately. Now what's left in bucket 2? Let's call it 2,800, okay? So you got 2,800 in bucket 2. What are you spending? You're spending 3,600. Whoa, wait, what? I don't have any money. Right, you don't have any money, that's why your credit card balance is what it is. What are you spending it on? Now you do a deep dive, 3 months into where are you spending your money? How much was it at Starbucks? How much was it DoorDash? How much was it Macy's? How much was it wherever? Amazon, oh good lord, Amazon, we shop for hours money. Okay, you gotta get the number trimmed down in bucket 2, because that's what you control. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Do y'all see, it's not that hard if you put the work in. Losing 20 pounds is not that hard if you put the work in. Therapy's hard. And you gotta put the work in. So that's bucket spending in 5 minutes. Thank you guys for giving me this time. Thank you for letting me share my heart with you. Again, if you've got credit card debt, hopefully this is pretty self-explanatory. If you get stuck, and even if you don't get stuck, again, on this piece, this QR code gets you a 20-minute ask anything with me. I'll tell you already, I always spend more than 20 minutes. Ladies, I'll make sure you get this QR code online so that if you wanna schedule something.
Please sign up, but yes, if you email it to me, I'll make sure that Kurt gets it over to them.
Perfect,
That'd be
okay,
great.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Can I take a moment to pray for you and everyone?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yes.
thank you.
Lord, thank you. The words will be short, but it's just, it made it clear that we should pray. Because what Brandi is doing is that the word, the topic is, that you are good, so I pray, Father, that whatever we heard today, that you would help us to take it, and that we would take it to So we can keep hearing that you agree with everything, share it, so that we can understand the early family. Lord, thank you for what Brandy's doing. So I continue everything that done to reinforce her. And to allow her to walk the journey alongside of her. We just thank you for your plan.
Thank you. I would be honored if you would leave this piece for me, so I can learn from you. It also is helpful to know where are you, because that's the topics that I wanna cover more as I continue my coaching journey. So, and then the very last two pieces, I just super quick, again, if you wanna join me on Thursday, I'd love to have you, bring a friend, it's on Zoom. And finally, if you feel at all compelled to learn more about what Year with me to take a journey in your financial health looks like. I start a ladies only group in January for my financial coaching. That's another QR code for the 20-minute ask anything.
That's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah.
We're supposed to take back